You place the $4 can of premium, organic, grain-free pâté in front of them. They sniff it. They look you dead in the eye. And then they turn around and walk away, leaving you feeling frustrated, rejected, and frankly, a little terrified. You probably think they are just being a diva. You probably think you just haven't found the right flavor yet. What if I told you that this behavior isn't stubbornness? It is a biological SOS. A silent, desperate scream from their microscopic feline nephrons begging for help. Today we are permanently ending the picky eater myth. I am going to show you exactly what is happening inside your cat's bloodstream when they refuse to eat, and I am going to give you the exact $1 veterinary secret to add to their bowl tonight that will completely rewire their appetite. Welcome back to the Smart Cat Parent Community. I am Dr. Whiskers, your feline medicine specialist. If you are watching this from your couch in a high-rise apartment, surrounded by bags of expensive, uneaten kibble, and feeling the crushing weight of modern veterinary bills, I need you to hear this. You have been doing everything right. You love your cat like a child. But the U.S. pet food industry has engineered a multi-billion-dollar trap designed to make you feel like you are constantly failing. Today, we break that cycle with pure, unadulterated medical truth. By the end of this video, I am going to unravel 3 massive secrets the industry desperately wants to keep hidden. First, we will solve the ultimate behavioral mystery. Why does your cat obsessively lick the gravy or jelly off their food, but leave the actual meat behind like it's garbage? Second, I will expose the terrifying chemical deception hidden in almost every bag of commercial dry food. A legal synthetic coating that literally hijacks your cat's amygdala, acting like a narcotic that blinds them to real nutrition. And finally, the most important part, I am going to give you a $1 kitchen remedy, a simple pantry staple that acts as a microscopic healing balm, instantly reversing olfactory fatigue and repairing the feline gut lining. You will not want to miss a single second of this. To understand why your cat is starving themselves in front of a full bowl, we have to travel back in time and then journey deep into their cells. Your cat, whether they are a 15-pound Maine Coon or a tiny 7-pound rescue tabby sleeping on your radiator, is biologically identical to the African wildcat, Felis libica. They are solitary desert predators. Because they evolved in an arid desert environment, nature didn't give them a strong thirst drive. They were engineered to get 70 to 80% of their daily water intake directly from the blood and tissue of their fresh prey, like mice. But now we keep them in climate-controlled urban U.S. apartments, constantly heated to 72 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter, with dry, recycled air. This creates a state of chronic, invisible, low-grade dehydration. And this is where the cellular breakdown begins. Let's look at their kidneys. Inside your cat's kidneys are thousands of microscopic filtering units called nephrons. When a cat is chronically dehydrated, blood flow to these nephrons decreases. The glomerular filtration rate plummets. Toxins that should be flushed out in their urine, specifically blood urea nitrogen or BUN, begin to build up in the bloodstream. Do you know what elevated BUN causes? Constant, low-grade, agonizing nausea. Imagine having a mild stomach flu all day, every day. Now combine this with their anatomy. A cat's entire world is ruled by their nose, specifically the Jacobson's organ located in the roof of their mouth. But for olfactory receptors to capture scent molecules, the mucous membrane lining their nasal cavity must be perfectly moist. Because of the dry indoor air and their internal dehydration, that membrane dries out. So put yourself in their paws. You place the food down. They approach the bowl. Because their mucous membranes are dry, they are experiencing olfactory fatigue. They can barely smell the food. It's like trying to taste a gourmet meal while wearing a blindfold with a severe head cold. But worse, the faint smell they do pick up instantly collides with the uremic nausea radiating from their compromised nephrons. Their brain makes a devastating connection. This smell equals this nausea. They aren't being picky. They are experiencing clinical food aversion. They are backing away from the bowl because their body is telling them the food is toxic. Now I am not going to leave you in the dark. You are a smart cat parent, which means you are your cat's first responder. Tonight, while you are watching TV and your cat is curled up next to you on the couch, I want you to perform 2 clinical vet-approved physical checks to detect this silent dehydration. Check number 1, the mucous membrane glide. I want you to gently lift your cat's upper lip and lightly run your index finger across their upper gums. Pay close attention to the tactile sensation. A healthy, fully hydrated cat's gums should feel like a wet water slide, slick, smooth, and coated in saliva. If your finger drags, if it feels tacky, sticky, or like you just touched the adhesive side of Scotch tape, your cat is suffering from subclinical dehydration. Their biological alarm bells are ringing, and I want you to look at their posture. Are they doing the meatloaf? You know the pose. Paws tucked tightly underneath, eyes squinted, completely rigid. But here is the critical distinction. Are they doing this while hovering directly over their water bowl, just staring at the water without taking a sip? My friends, that is not a cat relaxing. That is the universal feline posture for acute gastric distress and nausea. They know they need the water, but the mechanical action of bending their neck to drink makes them feel like they are going to vomit. If you see the Hover-Loaf, the picky eating isn't a preference. It is a medical crisis. Now that we know the enemy, cellular dehydration and internal nausea, how do we defeat it? How do we get them to eat without forcing a syringe down their throat or spending $800 on diagnostics just yet? We bypass the nausea and we forcefully reboot their olfactory receptors using the Feline Hydration Slurry. This is my absolute favorite veterinary hack. It requires 3 specific ingredients, and you must follow these measurements perfectly. First, you need a base. Do not use tap water. The chlorine completely turns off a cat's nose. Use exactly 2 ounces of warm filtered water. Now here is the secret. You must heat this water to precisely 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Why? Because 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit is the exact body temperature of a mouse. When you heat moisture to this precise threshold, it releases volatile, aromatic compounds that bypass the cat's damaged mucous membranes and trigger an ancient, primal hunting instinct deep in their brainstem. Next, we add the medicine. You are going to add exactly 1/8 teaspoon of pure, organic, slippery elm bark powder. You can find this in any health food store for just a few dollars. Slippery elm is a miracle of nature. When it mixes with the warm water, it creates a gel-like substance called mucilage. When your cat laps this up, that mucilage coats their entire gastrointestinal tract. It instantly repairs the glycosaminoglycan layer, the GAG protective layer, of their stomach wall and their bladder. It acts like a liquid bandage, instantly extinguishing the low-grade inflammatory fire that is causing their nausea. Finally, the magic trigger. We are going to add a tiny pinch, just a dusting, of pure nutritional yeast. Why? Because nutritional yeast is packed with naturally occurring glutamic acid. In the feline world, glutamic acid is pure umami. It is the loudest, most aggressive flavor profile a cat can experience. You whisk these 3 together. 2 ounces of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit filtered water, 1/8 teaspoon of slippery elm, and a pinch of nutritional yeast. Pour this over their rejected wet food. The heat vaporizes the umami scent, tearing through their olfactory fatigue. The slippery elm hits their stomach, neutralizing the nausea in seconds. You will watch a cat who hasn't eaten in 2 days suddenly demolish their bowl. But I have to issue a severe warning, because right now millions of U.S. cat parents are being manipulated into making this problem worse. Why does your cat only lick the jelly or the gravy and leave the expensive meat squares behind? It is because that meat in commercial pouches is often heavily processed, extruded soy or wheat gluten, formed into blocks that are incredibly difficult for a nauseous, dehydrated cat to digest. The jelly, however, contains soluble proteins and high moisture. Their brilliant bodies are selectively extracting the only medicine available in the bowl and rejecting the toxic blocks of filler. Stop yelling at them for wasting food. They are trying to survive. And remember that chemical deception I mentioned? If you are feeding dry kibble, you need to know about palatants. Palatants are synthetic animal digests, often listed harmlessly as natural flavor, that the pet food industry coats on the outside of dry, biologically inappropriate cereal to make your obligate carnivore eat it. These palatants contain pyrophosphates, which artificially overstimulate your cat's amygdala. It acts like a highly addictive junk food narcotic. If your cat refuses to eat wet food and screams for kibble, they aren't being picky. They are literally going through chemical withdrawal from pyrophosphates. Furthermore, you must check your pantry right now. Many well-meaning parents try to entice their picky eaters with human broths or cheap commercial cat soups. Look at the label. If you see the words onion powder, garlic, moutarde, or Carrageenan, throw it in the trash immediately. Onion and garlic cause oxidative damage to feline red blood cells, leading to Heinz body anemia. And Carrageenan, it is an emulsifier that triggers feline macrophages to attack their own tissue, causing severe, irreversible, inflammatory bowel disease. You think you are giving them a treat, but the industry is selling you cellular poison. We have covered so much heavy, scientific ground today. You are now armed with the cellular knowledge to protect your best friend. But before we go, I want to give you one final physical tool to comfort your cat tonight. When your cat is feeling nauseous and refusing food, their cortisol levels, their stress hormones, are sky high. We can lower this instantly using Eastern veterinary medicine. It is a simple acupressure technique. I want you to wait until they are resting quietly. Gently take your thumb and place it exactly between their eyes, right above the bridge of their nose. This is the yin-tang acupressure point. Apply incredibly gentle circular pressure. Then take your other hand and find the bai hui point, located at the very base of their lumbar spine, right where the tail meets the back. Gently massage both points simultaneously for 60 seconds. This specific combination forces the feline nervous system to shift from sympathetic fight or flight into parasympathetic rest and digest. It stimulates the release of natural endorphins. You will physically feel their little muscles melt under your hands. Often, within 10 minutes of this massage, a cat will stand up, stretch, and walk straight to their food bowl. Being a cat parent in today's world is overwhelming. The costs are high, the marketing is deceptive, and our cats suffer in silence. But you are not alone anymore. If this video helped you understand your beautiful little predator just a little bit better, please hit that subscribe button right now. Every subscriber helps this channel reach another cat parent who is crying over a sick pet, thinking they have no options left. Together, we are building an army of educated advocates and we are saving feline lives. Now I want to hear from you. Picky eaters are notorious for rejecting $4 gourmet salmon pâté, but then begging for the most ridiculous things. What is the strangest human food your picky eater has ever tried to steal off your plate? Was it a piece of broccoli, a French fry? Tell me down in the comments below, and I will personally reply to the first 100 comments, telling you exactly what that bizarre craving means biologically. Thank you for trusting me with your cat's health. Go make that hydration slurry, give them a gentle massage, and I will see you in the next video.